Hello, it's Dan here. It's Saturday evening. I've just finished my last client for the week. It's been a great week, some great results, and I just wanted to take a moment to share a technique with you today that's all about interrupting negative, anxious thoughts. And it would work equally, with stress, with dread, fears, but particularly with anxiety, because what happens is if we start to feel anxious, we get all those kind of feelings, which leads to all those thoughts, those what ifs, worst case scenarios, and it can kind of snowball until we feel completely overwhelmed, like our mind's full, like everything becomes something to feel fear about, dread about. We don't want to do things. We can feel very stuck in that kind of position of being overly anxious. So we want to interrupt those thoughts by bringing our focus, our attention right back to now. So rather than letting it go into all those what ifs, what if this goes wrong, what if I make an idiot of myself, a fool of myself, what if I feel anxious in front of people, or any of those other anxiety thoughts, we want to bring that focus right back to here and now, where essentially none of that stuff in the future exists. It doesn't exist right now. Things from the past don't exist. Dreads, worries, regrets, all those things from the past, things from the future don't exist, because right here, right now, we can be completely free of them, interrupt that thinking pattern, and allow our minds and bodies to just calm down, feel more centered, and in many ways, you could describe some mindfulness technique or a thinking technique. And here's how we do it. So it's called the 3-2-1 technique. And again, like I say, it's all about bringing our focus, bringing our attention right back to now. And if you're as old as me, you might even remember, 3-2-1, and it was the early 80s or something, Dusty Bin and Ted Rogers and all that kind of stuff. If you are much younger than me, you will have no clue what I'm talking about there, but he did that thing with his fingers, which you got to remember the right way around, or you start swearing at people inadvertently. Was it 3, 2, 1? But he did it 10 times as quick as that, and without swearing, which is always a bonus. We used to do that on the playground. That shows how old I am. But anyway, let's not focus on the past. Let's bring our focus, bring our awareness right back to now, where none of that exists, thankfully. No more Dusty Bin. Anyway, right back to now. 3-2-1 to interrupt unwanted thoughts. And the way we do that is this. You want to, as soon as you notice you're going down that path of thinking those anxious thoughts, or even just practicing it as a kind of mindfulness technique to get really good at it, as soon as you start going down that path of negative thoughts, you want to, in your mind, bring your attention to now by describing 3 specific things that you can see around you. And you can do it in your mind. If you're on your own, you might do it out loud, but in your mind, describe to yourself 3 specific sights that are going on around you. Once you've done that, you move on to 3 specific sounds you can hear right now, and having done that, you move on to 3 specific external sensations you can feel right now. So things like, you can feel, well, I can anyway, I can feel the chair on my back, I can feel my foot on the floor, those kind of things. So that you do 3 different sights, 3 different sounds, 3 different external sensations. And then you move on to doing 2 different ones of each. So you would describe to yourself 2 different sounds, 2 different sights to start with. You can see, or hear, what? And so 2 different sights you can see, 2 different sounds you can hear, and then 2 different external sensations. And then you repeat doing 1 different one of each. So, and then, you can repeat that cycle again, because it gets harder and harder every round, because you have to, there's a lot of things to see, so, that might be fairly straightforward, but certainly in terms of sounds at least, it becomes harder and harder. Once you've done the obvious ones, so, I can hear the ticking of my clock, I think a car just went past outside, I can hear my aircon in the background, I don't know if you can, but certainly, once I've done the obvious ones, it gets much harder, and I really have to be right here, right now, and focus a lot more. So it brings my awareness here. Like I say, it's very mindfulness in that way, and you can just keep repeating those cycles as many times as you want. Now, if you're in an environment where, you have to be looking a certain way, like driving, for example, then you might just do the sounds. So you could do, 3 different sounds, you could do 2, 1, you could do 5, you could just do 6. You can vary it any way you like in that kind of regard, but certainly the 3-2-1 technique works really well. And if you are on your own, or it's lasting at night, or you're in a kind of safe place where you can do so, having done the external stuff, you can even move onto your imagination. Closing your eyes perhaps, and what are 3 positive sights you could imagine seeing? What are 3 good sounds you could hear? What are 3 sensations that make you feel good, and then do it in that way. So as well as being able to interrupt negative thoughts, bring them back to now, you can also nudge it forward in a positive way if you wanted to. A lot of people do that in terms of getting to sleep. So you see what's outside you, you've interrupted all that stuff, you're here, you're now, and then you can move it on in that way. But certainly, if you want to interrupt unwanted thoughts, it really is a great technique once you kind of get into it. 3 things you can see, 3 sounds you can hear, 3 external sensations, 2 different of each, 1 different of each, and you can repeat as many times as you want to break that kind of thinking pattern, that anxiety pattern that otherwise can just kind of free flow. Bring your awareness, bring your focus right back to here, to now, and I think you'll kind of get the benefit from doing that. I would love to know how you get on with this technique. Please do comment, like, message me. I just want to know. Tell me how you get on with this. Always great to hear from you, and I will let you get on with the rest of your weekend. I'm looking forward to mine. I think we're going to look at rabbits tomorrow or something, like we do in the Regan household, getting another rabbit, and but whatever you're doing, have a great day, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.